The rain has stopped. However, in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, the roads are still wet. This is not caused by the rain, but it is caused by the overflowing manholes that have been blocked by the debris. Residents within the vicinity believe that this water is also mixed with sewage. A follow-up on the manholes in Spanish Town days after the rain gave rise to greater issues. Not only is the stench from the water noticeable, but mosquito larvae could be seen in the settled water, which are the vectors responsible for spreading many viruses, a common one being dengue.
This is a mess water, man, filth water, dirty water where I come from out of gutter, man. Parish council say them another them, parish council say them for call NWC, then say another them.
It's arbor mosquitoes and John Jaws. Grow on your feet. You see you have to use, I don't know. But you have to use a lot of things to get it up. And it don't supposed to up like that in a town where you have millions of people going to and from.
Citizens say the debris that causes the blockage in the manholes is the main cause, while others say whenever the drains are cleaned, the gunk is left on the streets, which are later washed back into the manholes whenever it rains. Some citizens suspect the water which settles on the road is not only from the manhole, but is mixed with sewage.
Sometimes it stinks like feces in it. The water smell really bad, especially in a public, it's in a heart of Spanish Town. And this is not nice. Dirty water splash up on your foot. Youngsters drop all in this. Toddler me talk about drop off in this. And not nice water this. Water here will sick you.
Attempts to contact Mayor for Spanish Town, Norman Scott, and Member of Parliament for the area, Denise Daly, were made. However, calls and messages went unanswered.
You're asking the government to get it off the street for the Christmas and even after the Christmas.
Level the curve and settle the nerve. That's the message being publicized to the motoring public, especially to public transport operators. Now the campaign will see over 25 operators in each parish being trained as road safety first responders. Statistics from the Road Safety Unit reveals that as of November 26, 383 persons have been killed from a total of 341 crashes. This represents a 2% decrease in fatalities when compared to the similar period last year. But as the silly season approaches in the middle of a pandemic, motorists are being urged to maintain best practices on the road.
Hospitals are already overburdened, trying to deal with the number of people that they have to be dealing with for COVID. They can't take on the brunt of fatal injuries. It's too much. And so we're asking that we all play our part.
The 40-day awareness campaign will engage operators daily, sensitizing them on road safety, and will see the distribution of masks and hand sanitizers. And despite public transport operators not earning as they usually would, Newman endorses the proposed COVID-19 protocols for the Christmas period.
We are saying that Christmas is coming, a number of things are happening out there. We welcome all the initiatives that the government has put in place right now for the Christmas season. We believe they can't do more. We must take heed and understand that COVID is a serious pandemic and we need to seriously take it into consideration, reduce the crowd.
Motorists are also being encouraged to reduce their speed on the roads.
There is no need for you to go speeding on roads that we all complain day in and day out that they are too bad for our vehicles to travel on. So we're asking everybody, we can all play our part, whether we walk, ride or drive.
Ground has broken for a brand new police station in Mount Salem, St. James. The new facility, which is being built to the tune of $45 million, is to replace the existing structure located nearby the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Mount Salem has been hailed as the blue-eyed baby for the government's Zones of Special Operations program, which is expected to be reviewed following the expiration of 3 years. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he's satisfied with the improved citizen security and social intervention strategies within the community.
At some point in time, the government will have to formally bring an end to the security arrangements here. But at that point in time, the heart of the citizen has already been transformed, so the presence won't be needed. The citizen will become the ward of the peace.
However, he explained that the security force continues to have challenges in Denham Town, West Kingston, which was declared a ZOSA just 1 month later in October 2017.
The challenge is not necessarily where the zone is located, because within the zone, I think generally there is control. I think the strategy has to be, how do we expand this to take into account areas that are problematic around.
And while mum on the details, the Prime Minister says more ZOSAs will be declared soon. In 2019, the government said it was closely monitoring 20 crime hotspots across the island. However, since then, there have been more states of public emergencies declared, which have been criticized as unconstitutional.
I don't like to say where these communities would be, but I think areas in Westmoreland, areas in St. Anne, areas in St. Catherine would recommend themselves highly for zones of special operations.
CVM Live revisited the Riverton Meadows community on Friday, where residents were left without electricity for several days. Our news team caught up with one resident who says the community received electricity around noon on Thursday and explained the challenges faced during the power outage.
I personally have 3 asthmatic children, 1 baby with 2 holes in his heart, that I can't afford for them to be hot. And it was really frustrating because I was worried, because if my grandbaby had gotten blue in the night, then I couldn't call someone, a taxi, to take me to the hospital.
In an interview with CVM Live on Tuesday, public relations specialist at the Jamaica Public Service, Audrey Williams, said the community has a 90% rate of electricity theft. Meanwhile, this resident says she and others are legitimate and are willing to pay.
It's not everyone wants to steal it. You have people who down here willing to go legally. But when them go up there, they're asking the people them for a land title. I capture land the people them live on.
A meeting was held on Thursday with Area Councillor Hazel Anderson and Member of Parliament Anthony Hilton. Mr. Hilton says the House passed legislation regarding land ownership.
Parliament recently passed an amendment to the Registration of Titles Act, which sets out a procedure whereby persons who have been living on the land for in excess of 12 years now have a streamlined process whereby they can apply for and go through a process which could result in them getting titles to the land if they are qualified.
He further added that he's working alongside the area councillor in rectifying the long-standing issue between the JPS and community members. Residents here in Riverton Meadows have finally had their electricity restored after several days. However, some residents are still disgruntled by the services provided by the Jamaica Public Service. Reporting for CVM Live, I am Javine McLean.